Hi, everyone. You're listening to episode 78 of the Fifth Maple Board Game Podcast. Thanks so much for inviting us to your table. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fifth Maple Board Game Podcast. We're a group of diverse friends who offer our takes on the latest and greatest board games to hit our table. I'm your host today, Daniela, the Goofy Noob, and I am joined today by the Collector.
Hey, this is David.
The Intellectual Introvert.
Hi, everyone. This is Chris.
And the Deluxeifier.
Hello, it's Pete.
All right, guys, it's Christmas, and in a lot of homes, that means the floors are going to be covered in toys. But with so many toys, there's bound to be some kerfuffles, right? So today we're talking about Toy Battle. I see the dolls lining up in battle formation already, so let's get this war started.
Toy Battle is a two-player tile-laying area control race game where innocent toys have decided to wage war, and they need you to help strategize them to victory. Play takes place on one of 8 terrain boards, each with its own theme and including a headquarters on opposite ends for each player and a series of placement slots connected through paths. Each player has a pool of 24 tiles in their color, including 3 sets numbered 1 through 7, plus 3 rubber ducks. These tiles are shuffled face down, with 4 being randomly removed before starting. The starting player then blindly drafts 3 tiles, placing them in the rack Scrabble style, and the second player drafts 4. On your turn, you can choose to draft more tiles, adding 2 tiles from your pool to your rack up to a maximum of 8. Alternatively, you can choose a tile from your rack and place it on the terrain board. The tile must be placed on a slot that can be traced back through your own tiles to your headquarters, and can only be placed on top of an opponent's tile if the number on your tile is higher than the current number. Obviously, rubber ducks outrank any number, but any number also outranks a rubber duck. Most of the tiles, when placed, also initiate a power, such as removing an opponent's adjacent tile or drawing more tiles for yourself, and certain slots on the terrain board also grant special powers. Areas surrounded by paths are called regions. If you control all slots surrounding a region, you earn medals. The game end is triggered when a player reaches a certain number of medals, when one player cannot make a valid play, or when a controlled path is created from one headquarters to the other. Depending on the game end trigger, either the player who controls that path or the player with the most medals wins the game, while the other player takes their toys and goes home. Toy Battle was designed by Paolo Morai and Alessandro Zucchini and was first published in 2025 by Repos Production.
What a great last name, Zucchini. All right, it's important to note that all of us have only played this online on Board Game Arena, so let's keep that in mind as we talk here. But let's talk about what is it about Toy Battle that makes you want to charge right in and guns a-blazing?
I think there's a risk of this feeling repetitive, and I think it can to a certain extent. However, the game includes 8 different boards, and I think each one of those boards, those terrain boards, they do feel and they do play differently from each other, not just the way the paths are set up, but the special powers as well. I know last night, Daniela, you and I were playing one. We put in the cemetery one, and we're like, oh, this is a pretty cool theme. And in that one, you go to a certain spot, and you can take your toys that are basically dead, that have been taken off and thrown off the board. You bring them back to life and bring them back to your rack. I enjoyed 7 of those 8 boards. There was one there I did not like, but for the most part, I enjoyed the variety and just the, exploring each of those different themes and the different powers.
Yeah, this is a very tactical game. If you like tactics and trying to figure out this is my best play at this point in time, your overall goal is to get to the other side. But the way that you do that, you really have to understand your cards and really take advantage of what those cards do and do it in the right timing and right location. I know when I first played it, I just kind of went into it. I'm like, this is a pretty simple game. I'll be able to do it. Next thing I know, I'm out, because Chris walloped me pretty good.
I wish you too.
Yeah. I wish I would have looked at the suggestions and the hints and the
they were like summaries and stuff.
How to actually use it. Like one of the suggestions was only put the duck on a number 7. And when I first played it, I was trying different things. I'm like, well, I'll go here and do that. And you can really get outplayed very quickly if you don't know what you're doing. So, it's a very tactical game for me. Probably not one of my most favorites. But
I like the overall, just like the war theme, right? Like, someone goes, another person goes, but with the added layers. And I do like the fact that you can stack, which is different. It'd be easier just to get to one side, but when someone's coming at you, like Chris was like coming at some of my different characters and having to go, okay, do I need to advance or am I going to block him in these areas? So to your point, the strategy is there and it does need to be played out and drawn on so you can either continue your line or, figure out your defense system as well.
Yeah, to me, I would say, kind of like following up on Pete, it is a very tactical game. To the point where I do feel that the more experienced player will normally win this kind of game. I don't know, like personally, the times that I played it, but if you're somebody that wants to dive deep into something that's a 15-minute play, and that sounds like something you would like to do and get really good at, because I think that the more you invest in this game, the better you're going to be. But it is very tactical, and I do like that the different pieces, the different toys, they have different powers, but you really need to understand those powers in order to be really good at this game. But I do appreciate the variety of things that they can do, which I think is fun. And there's 2 different ways to win, which makes it interesting.
There's a lot of ways to lose.
There's a lot of ways to lose, yes.
I think the game wouldn't be as great too if they did not include the 8 board games. I mean, I think you definitely needed those to change it up and try different things. And you could go for a couple rounds on this and enjoy the game for a little bit longer than it just takes to play one game with the same board. So I appreciate them offering other varieties.
Yeah, a couple of you mentioned it's a tactical game. I wrote it down as a relatively light strategy game because you do certainly, okay, what can I do now? But you're also, in my mind, setting yourself up for, well, what am I putting where? What do I think he might be doing? When's the right time to play certain things? Okay, he's only got 2 pieces now. Now's the time for me to wipe one of those out. Things along those lines. I had a lot of fun. I look at this, and I'm not sure that the play does, but there's a little bit of chess. There's a little bit of stratego in there. I almost never play chess anymore. It's just too much thinking for me. For what I'm willing to do for a game right now, especially for a game with no theme. We're not talking about chess right now. But this one really hit the spot for me. It's fast. You can get through a couple of games really quick. But especially for, at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, where I want to pound something out really quick. And I don't want to think too hard, but I want to have control over what I'm doing. I really enjoy this game. I came in thinking I wasn't going to. Mm-hmm. And I've played it a lot now on BGA relatively recently with several folks around this table and with my brother. I've enjoyed every play of it. And again, if you decide you don't, 10 minutes, you're done.
I agree with Chris because we did play this game at the end of, I had been gone all day. I didn't get home till like 8:30. I needed to get a couple rounds of this in because I had some flight issues and some things getting home back to Ohio. But I agree that learning the game and then going through a couple rounds and understanding it. And Chris was generous. I'm rolling my eyes, generous enough to teach me. No, it was great. So it was good enough that he said, hey, you need to think about this and do that. And I did have a little bit of issue on my BGA board game. I had an issue on my little toggle switch that I couldn't see some things, and so it was messing me up. So I had to switch some things on and off for the help. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. But it was good to actually see what each of those cards could do, and then there was that little summary sheet that is down below that allows you to say to what Pete was alluding to of, hey, place ducks on this, place 2s on this, place. If you have whatever 5 or 6, place it on 7. So it had a little bit of that, but sometimes I didn't know why I was doing that. So I would love a little cheat sheet card, and maybe that comes in the actual game box, like the hard version of it. So I'd like to see what that looks like, just to have that next to me and not have to scroll around. But yeah, overall, I thought it was pretty seamless, easy enough to pick up. All right, so let's talk about Toy Battle and what makes the game want you to retreat.
I mentioned earlier that I like a lot about it. One of the things I don't like is it's got a thing where you discard 4 of your tiles at the start. And you might discard 3 of your 7s, and someone else just discards, a 4 and whatever. I don't know what else, but I don't like that. I understand that's supposed to be, okay, you don't know for sure what the other person has, but I want the game to be decided by how I play my tiles, not by which ones happen to get removed. Rebirth had this as well. We didn't like it there. I don't like it here either. It's maybe a little bit of a nitpick. I don't know if that ever came in as like, oh yeah, it's because I never had my 7s, but I'd rather that not be the case. I don't feel like this game needs it to have those pulled out. Let's just both have the same set, see what comes up, and then make do with what we have.
I completely agree with you, Chris.
I had a little confusion, and maybe, again, it's just from not understanding the game completely. one of the games that we were playing, Chris, we ended up going through all our tiles. So I thought I was doing actually pretty good holding you off. And, after the first few games, you got to my tower really quick. And then I figured out, okay, well, now I know what to do. And I was able to keep you at bay. And then we got through our tiles, and then all of a sudden just a good game's over and Chris wins. And I have absolutely no reason why. I know there's some areas where you're trying to get stars, and this is probably all on me. I didn't see where those stars were to know, did you have more stars than me? Is it who is farther along or who has more
area control, right?
Area control on the different side of the map, because we hit in the middle and we're kind of battling back and forth. We try to get over on the other side, and it's probably more on me just not knowing how the scoring of the game works. And I say this all the time, it's important to know how to win in a game, and that's all on me. But I think it was a little bit difficult just trying to learn the game and trying to understand, because there are multiple ways to win, and it feels like there's a whole lot more ways to lose.
There's 2 ways.
There's kind of like maybe 3 ways to win, but the two are very similar. One is just make that path. The second one is score enough medals, gain enough medals to get that sweet spot, and then it's an immediate win. And the third way is if someone can't move, then it again reverts back to medals, and it's just whoever has the most medals wins. And if you have the same amount of medals, then whoever couldn't move loses. So, but again, it's either you made a path or it's medal related.
I'm just going to talk, maybe it's just me and my personal gaming taste. So maybe you could relate as a listener to this, but the feeling that I get when I play Toy Battle is a feeling I get when I used to play games with like my brother. We'd play like, I don't know, Stratego, or we played chess, or we played checkers. And it was just very much like, I just want to toss the table sometimes. I don't know why, but I get frustrated, and it brings out like just those emotions of being frustrated because, I'm either getting my butt kicked or I'm kicking somebody else's butt, but somebody's normally getting their butt kicked. And that's the feeling I get with this. And if you're okay with that, I know a lot of you out there, you might like that. This might be a game for you. I don't personally like that. I kind of like lean more into, I'm doing my puzzle, you're doing your puzzle, and we'll see who could do it more efficiently. That's why I tend to like Euros and stuff like that. But this game is just a in-your-face tactical thing. One person's going to win, one person's going to get slammed, and there's only a couple different paths to victory. And in order to get to that path, you have to run the other person over. And if that's not your kind of game, which it's not my kind of game, for me, those feelings, then when they come back to me, I don't like the feeling I get after I play this game, whether I win or I lose. I like the feeling better if I win. But when I lose, a lot of times I'm frustrated. And like Chris said, a lot of times it's like we get to the end, we're evenly matched, and I just didn't get the right draw tiles. My sevens are gone or something crappy like that. And I rather just have all the tiles be in play than not, because so often I feel like, he just got, a couple better tiles than I did, and just the luck of the draw, blind drawing, I just feel like I don't control my fate. And I get it's a fast game, but those feelings still come up, and I don't personally like those feelings that I get when I play games. So that's why Toy Battle might not be in my favorite. And I don't even know if I could necessarily blame that on the game as a negative. It's just the way I feel coming out of them. I don't necessarily like that feeling. So to me, that's a negative on this game.
Can I get you some cookies and milk? Because you do feel a little wound up just describing that.
I'm looking at pictures.
Snickers,
yeah,
I can feel that come through, and I kind of agree with you a little bit too. This is one of those just battle back and forth, and that's what you're in for. Be prepared.
But it's a 10-minute game, right? And so if that happens, it's over 10 minutes and you start again. I compare that to Nemesis, where you're playing for 3.5 hours, and you're one play away from escaping, and David throws you out of the room, or Pete throws you out of the room. That to me is a much bigger, oh my gosh, I'm frustrated. I just spent 3.5 hours doing that, as opposed to, I spent 10 minutes, didn't do it, let's play it back. Yeah.
But maybe that's the reason why. It's because you keep playing those games back, and I looked at my plays on BGA, and the reason why I stopped playing it, and it just seems like I'd play a certain guy, and I'd play it over and over again. I just keep getting my butt kicked. And, to me,
it's no fun.
It's no fun. I'd rather not play 40 minutes of just me getting my butt kicked, even though I feel like a lot of times it's like, that it comes down to the final thing, like kind of Chris was saying earlier, and it's just stupid bag or something dumb. And I just can't, to me, it's the bad kind of luck. I like luck in my games to an extent, but not the kind where, hey, your 4 random tiles are out, so are mine. And then the other time is I feel bad when somebody else gets their 4 tiles out that maybe there was a couple good ones in the game, and then I don't feel as accomplished because I'm like, well, yeah, of course I should have won because look at the tiles you randomly pulled out of the bag.
Okay, yeah,
and so
I
it
know.
kind of takes my victory and makes it more hollow. So yeah, those are just some complaints. But overall, I mean, it's a fast game, so play it.
Go get your cookie.
Yeah, I feel like Chris will always out strategize me on this game, so just take my beating as it comes. So. All right, guys, the battle's over, but the war is yet to be decided. All right, here we go. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being a fifth meeple recommendation to buy and 1 being a recommendation to burn, where does Toy Battle rank for you? I'm going to start with Pete.
I'm not going to burn it, but I'm going to give it a 2. This is a game that it just doesn't appeal to me. There are other games that I would rather prefer playing head to head. I'd much rather play Magic the Gathering. I feel like I have more control over it. There's crafting and all that we talk about. It's just random on what we're both starting with the same thing, but somebody's going to get a good draw and maybe somebody's not. If you like that strategy and all that, by all means go for it, but it's not for me. So a 2 for me.
All right, David, what do you rank it?
Well, first off, I'm going to tell you the price of it. So if you want to buy this game, it is $32.99 on Amazon right now. This game just came out, the physical version, just a couple months ago. So it is a 2025 game. That's why we were playing it on BGA, because it is a little bit hard to find. I looked for a used copy online. I couldn't even find any used copies because that's kind of how new it is. I did see one person sold one right away for $20. So maybe that's where this price is going to settle. I don't know if it's a $33 game. I feel like it's more a $19.99 kind of game, but that's just my opinion on it. As far as the score I'm going to give it, Pete stole my thunder. I don't think it's a 1. I think it does a great job at what it's doing. It's just not my style of game, so I'm going to give it a 2. It's not a game that I would go to or even lean towards, but I do get why people like this game, and it is good for those. So if you like that kind of type we were describing earlier, I think you should go out and run and get this game, because I think what it does well, it does really well. It's just not for me. So that's my ranking, a 2.
All right, Chris.
I mentioned earlier I came in expecting not to like this game at all. And at this point, I am definitely a fan. I'm not going to put it in my top tier, but it's a game that I would actually ask to play. The BGA implementation is really well done. It makes it easy to get in there, easy to play. Maybe $32 is a little high, but maybe not. You get 8 different boards in there. There's a lot of variety in there. I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say it. I think this has a chance to make its way into Game of the Year talk for that light category. I think it's going to hit the sweet spot for a lot of people and at least be in the running. For me, it's a 4. That surprises the heck out of me because it's a light game. It's a quick game, but I've just had a blast playing it so far. And again, I don't like those super, super heavy thinky strategy games anymore, but this one was just a light version of that. You can knock out and scratch that itch and move on. And I really enjoyed it. It's 4 for me.
So I know you said that it might be a little bit more expensive at the moment, but would you buy it since it's a 4 for you?
I don't think I'm going to buy it at 32 or 33, but you know what? BGA has spoiled me. I can play it on BGA if I want to.
Yeah, okay.
But honestly, if this is one that I tried it out with my daughter and she liked it, I'd go and buy it right away.
Okay. All right. All right. So 2, 2, 4. I'm going to actually score this probably a 3. Right down the middle. I can see how some people would like this. I can see how other people wouldn't like this. I actually, when I think of this game, it's funny because David had talked about playing with his brother and how it might bring up some feelings of animosity. But I actually think I would like to play this game with my brother, maybe around the holidays or something. I think he would like this game. I think he would find it to be strategic. I know, like, way back in the day, he played Risk and a bunch of those other games as well. So I think this would be a light, fun game to bring to the table that I wouldn't say no to for some people. So yeah, I'm going to just cut it right down the middle. I'm probably not going to go out and buy it or anything like that, but maybe the library one day will have it and I can borrow it from there. So, because David won't have it, but yeah, and that's actually another good point about bringing it up on BGA as well. I think it might be a good plan if you can play with people, because my brother doesn't even live in the States. So yeah, it might be a good option. So
something just popped into my head too. They'd never do it, but there's 8 boards in there. It's a 2-player only game. It could be, again, a holiday and more people want to play it. Give me an option to go out and buy 2 more sets. You've got a red and a blue. Give me a green and a white or something like that. Give me 2 other colors so that 2 sets of 2 people can be playing at the same time. You can do that tournament thing. If you got these two
if it was a
playing
tournament,
these two.
I'd probably be more in.
Yeah.
My ranking would probably go up.
be like our sequence tournament.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Well, deviating a little bit here, I just wanted to take a moment just to announce just just a little special goodbye to everybody. I'm actually going to be moving on a little bit from the podcast. I have no qualms against anything here. I love gaming with each and every single one of these guys around the table. No hard feelings, no drama of this like little departure here. You guys, there's some great stuff coming, I think, with the Fifth Meeple Board Game Podcast. I think 2026 is going to be an excellent year for them. So keep helping and supporting them. Like I will plan to continue to game with the guys as much as they'll let me and learn and continue to grow. But the podcast is growing leaps and bounds, and I'm just looking really forward to seeing what it has for all of you guys. And so I just want to take a moment just to thank you guys. It's been a great time, and hopefully I'll be on in the future as a special guest on the upcoming episode. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to when you come back as a guest host. Hopefully you can come back frequently. Like you said, you're still going to be playing with us as much as you can, which I'm really glad. I enjoy having you around the table. Really enjoy having you on this podcast. So hopefully we can bring you back as much as possible.
Yes, we'll do.
Yeah, I know you make a great host, and you will be missed, I'm sure, by many people, including me. As you said, you're still going to be around. So
yeah, for sure.
Can't
get rid of me.
Yeah, we're not going to get rid of you that bad, that fast.
Yeah, it's been great, Daniela, having you here. I'm sure Pete will turn this into a trivia question on a future round, so I'll have to memorize what episode this is.
78 episodes with you guys. So, yeah.
But it's been a good run. I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, tune in, guys. Continue to watch this. I know I'll be certainly following along with each and everything that they do. So, looking forward to that. So, all right. Well, that brings us to the end of this mini episode of the Fifth Meeple Board Game Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our discussion on Toy Battle. And if you'd like to get in touch, just email us at thefifthmeeple@gmail.com or reach out to us on social media. Of course, if you like our show, we'd love it if you'd give us a 5-star review to help us grow wherever you may listen. Thanks again for listening. And until next time, remember, he who dies with the most toys wins. Have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and all the rest. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Hello, this is David.
The intellect.
Wait a second, sorry.
Hello, this is Chris.
Oh my goodness. What did you
Tactical.
How nice it was for me to play in a way that taught you the game while we were playing. I did a great job yesterday.
I'm not going to say that.
But I did.